Question number 10, Stuart Nash.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Police, does she agree with the frontline police officer who recently said regarding police resources to attend every dwelling burglary that, quote, "We're only chasing our tails, the only solution is more staff. With excessive frozen budgets, we're at rock bottom"?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Well, Mr Speaker, I certainly agree with the officer's views on the impact that burglary has on victims, and for those reasons I support police's increased focus on burglary. I also agree that police will need more resources going into the future. However, the officer was incorrect to say that the police budget has been frozen. Police have received considerable extra funding under this government, with an annual budget of $1.6 billion, up from $1.2 billion when National took office. This year's budget further demonstrated the government's commitment to preventing and reducing crime, with police receiving an extra $299.2 million, hardly a frozen budget.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
When she said in response to question 5 that if she had her way, all the police would be moved to her electorate, is that because in her police district over the last 12 months, crime increased by 7% or over 50 crimes per week?
What? The Honourable Judith Collins.
Well, really, Mr Speaker, I think that the member needs to listen a little bit more closely. I did, however, point out that there's a reason that a minister doesn't get to decide where the police are all based, because otherwise they might be all in that minister's electorate and not in, for instance, that member's electorate.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
Well, I'd make a better Minister of Police than she would. Anyway,
Order. Order. The member was responding to an interjection. We'll now proceed with the supplementary question. Order.
How does she explain to the people of New Zealand an increase of over 13,000 crimes over the past 12 months, that's 250 crimes extra per week, compared to the 12 months previous, and yet she still has done nothing to increase police numbers?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Well, Mr Speaker, of course, if I want to explain those numbers, 70% of them are an increase in burglaries, and that's why police are focused on burglaries.
Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
Well, in light of that, has she received any reports of police from organised crime units being moved either temporarily or permanently to solve burglaries, and if so, what is the nature of these reports?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, I understand that there is an anonymous letter to a trade union organisation paper saying that, but I haven't got any evidence of it other than that.
Order.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
When she said yesterday that, quote, "That member knows that the Prime Minister and I have made numerous statements to him and others around the resourcing of police," end quote, can she advise how many more unnecessary victimisations have to take place before the Minister finally stops talking and starts acting?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Well, Mr Speaker, leaving aside the very unfair nature of that question, I can say that this minister is acting all the time when it comes to numbers, because we are working on this and have been for some time. And if only he would do the groundwork like New Zealand First does and do the odd OIA, he might find out.